please turn off. Okay guys, so today I am doing a special review of the winter season opener for Riverdale. Just got done watching it on the CW app because I don't really have cable. And let me tell you, I, as usual, when it comes to Riverdale, am shook. The main reason is always Cheryl. Cheryl is everything to me. Everything she does is perfection. She could probably murder someone, and honestly, I would applaud her because they probably deserved it. So we'll start with Cheryl and move on to the other characters, and hopefully you guys enjoy this review. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, of course, don't keep watching. Definitely wait till you see the episode, then come back and watch this. But if you've seen the episode and you want to hear, my take on it, definitely keep watching. Let's start with Cheryl, of course, my favorite character, my baby, honestly. So in this episode, she has to deal with the serpents invading her school. Obviously, she freaked out about that. But I think the real, kicker for her character was finding out that her mom is, sort of an upscale prostitute, and the fact that her mom also enjoys being an upscale prostitute. Because after she convinces Archie to go get, this blood money from Nick, and her mom is basically like, why would I stop? I enjoy doing this. So it was really funny to see that aspect in the relationship between her and her mother, because when you see Cheryl, the way she is towards other people, you're trying to figure out, oh my god, where does this come from? This is so weird. No one else in her family kind of is that crazy. I mean, obviously they were. Her dad murdered her brother, but, no one is like that towards other people. They all seem kind of, stoic. So when you see her mom sort of turn to her and go, well, why would I stop? I like it. Even when she's, holding this check, that was the moment for me where I realized, oh, you know what? This is where Cheryl is getting her attitude from. This is where, her reaction to other people, her manipulation, that's where that comes from. I'm hoping with this season we're gonna see a little bit more of her return with her obsession with Josie, because I know they touched on that with the fall season, but they never really finished it out. It was just kind of thrown in the background because everyone was concerned about the Black Hood. So I really hope that this season they'll kind of go back to that and revisit that relationship between her and Josie, because I think that's something that the viewers and I would really like to see. So next we can talk about Veronica. So Veronica is probably a very complex character, because throughout the whole first season, the beginning of the second season, her big thing is she does not support her parents doing these sort of backdoor deals. She doesn't support her dad with the mafia. She believes what they're doing is wrong. She doesn't want any part of it. But we find out towards the end of the fall season that all of a sudden she wants to be involved. She wants to, dip her hands in the pot and sort of figure out what the business is all about. And so I think it's really funny to see her transition from that. And then of course, there was the whole I can't say I love you thing. So basically just her transition from, I don't support my parents, everything they do is wrong, my dad's, the devil. So now she's pretty much involved in the business. She has her hand just about in everything. She's starting to do the manipulation like her mother. She's kind of doing all these backdoor deals like her dad. So it's going to be interesting to see, how she starts to take that manipulation even further as the season goes on. Because we know that she loves Archie, and obviously she wants to be with him, but at the same time, how far is she willing to, go to protect her family and her parents and things like that. So hopefully we'll see that as that goes on. She's being just as shady as ever, sort of trying to infiltrate with the serpents and keep everything clean like her dad wants. She went and discussed things with her parents. She went and discussed things with the mayor. So I just can't wait to see, how her having her hand in the business is going to affect all the other characters. We can also discuss the fact that she learns about the kiss that happened between Betty and Archie. And that scene was actually really funny for me because, in the beginning of the first season, Betty confesses, I think I'm in love with Archie. I think I want to be with him. We've known each other forever. I feel like I'm in love with him. And what does Veronica do, everyone? She goes and steals Archie out from under Betty's nose and buys her a muffin or a gift to apologize for, hey, I stole your man, here's a gift to apologize. So I thought it was really funny that she got really upset over this kiss that happened, when her and Archie were broken up. But, you know, when you look back and you see kind of like the things that you did to even be with him, you really can't be that upset, honestly. So I let that go, but I just thought that was like a really funny moment for Veronica. If we move on to Betty. Oh, Betty. She tries her best. She's been through a lot, but my God, that poor girl. So obviously in this episode they go and they find her brother, which I know she means well, and I know this is like supposed to help her mom, who I love, Alice. Horrible in the first season, but that turnaround at the Serpent Party was everything I ever needed. So basically, you know, she goes, finds the brother, saves him. Instead of taking him directly to a hospital after the knife wound, takes him to the house, which, you know, don't know anything about this guy. Probably should, like, leave him in a motel or something, stay somewhere that's not your home. And of course we get a glimpse into the fact that he's probably a psychopath when he, you know, is watching Betty sleep. And it's also pretty funny because he's like, oh, what did he call it? Fantasy something? He directs porn. So I thought that was, you know, interesting choice, but obviously it's going to be interesting to see where that leads to throughout the show. So of course Betty is once again trying to do her best, but just kind of making everything worse, which is kind of her hobby. That's why her and Archie, I think, go together. Archie likes to do that. So speaking of Archie, you know, in this episode he gets caught up with the FBI. He decides, you know, if I do this for you, will you protect my dad? Will you protect Veronica? Because he loves Veronica, even though he doesn't know about the shady deals she's starting to conduct. So I wonder if when he finds that out, will he just be like completely shaken and drop her and maybe finally get with Betty? So interesting to see. But once again, he's trying to do his best, but it's just turning out completely wrong. Oh, I burped. Sorry, guys. But it's just turning out completely wrong. So he goes all the way to New York to beat the crap out of Nick St. Clair and tries to tell Veronica, oh no, I did it like for you, for Cheryl. But what he doesn't mention is he went up there in the hopes that Nick St. Clair would reveal, you know, who injured him. How did you get hurt? And of course, Nick St. Clair doesn't reveal anything because he doesn't want to get murdered by Hiram Lodge. So that was a pretty interesting step. And you know, Archie, he's doing his best, but God, I wish he'd just stick to strumming that guitar and flying under the radar, because after his little stunt with the black hood and the red circle and all that, he really just needs to like lie low, stay under the radar, stop messing with things. And then of course you get to the big reveal at the end where he's like, well, you know, I don't think we caught the right guy. And of course the FBI agent, we don't find out what he says, but something's gonna happen with that because the black hood is never over. And if I'm thinking about it, maybe it might be Betty's brother, because, you know, he was looking a little crazy at the end of the episode. He probably hates sinners because Alice gave him up. He lived on the farm, so he's brainwashed like Polly, who came down for a visit and is super brainwashed. Super not pregnant anymore, but super brainwashed. So, could be him. We don't know, because when the janitor, when they catch him, like at that point he's already quit school, he's dropped out, but we don't know that he was like the leader of the whole thing. He could have just been like involved at the end because the Black Hood may have had something on him. So it could be Betty's brother, could be someone we don't know. It's going to be an interesting turnout, so hopefully we'll find out more about that. And last but not least, my favorite character besides Cheryl, Jughead. Sweet angel. So he also is doing his best. Since the Serpent had to integrate into Riverdale High, he is just not having a good time. He's like, you know, I'm a serpent now. We can't take off our jackets. We can't shed our skin. We can't do all this. And, you know, everyone else is cool with it because they're like, you know, if it gets me a better education, what do I really care? But, of course, you know, Jughead has to take it to the extreme because he's trying to avoid thinking about Betty and being in school with Betty, who he broke up with to protect her from the serpents. So, of course, he's using all this as an excuse to sort of keep the serpents going, you know, can't stop them, principal's not going to take away my jacket. So it's really funny to see that, and he's really trying to keep it going, and of course, you know, FP's got to show up and tell him right from wrong, and all of a sudden, now we have this serpent club that basically, he sounded it almost like a LARPing club, but essentially it's just like a serpent gang gathering club where they can gather without the principal getting mad at them, which we all know that that's going to fail because everyone's going to be suspicious when the Serpents just all start hanging out during school hours. So I look forward to that falling through and seeing Jughead's reaction. Alright, so that's what we have so far for the first episode of the winter season of Riverdale. I look forward to going on this journey with you guys. Maybe I'll do a couple of more episode recaps when things start to get a little bit more intense or interesting. If you want me to do a recap of another show or maybe a book, any kind of thing like that, definitely leave something in the comments for me. And hopefully I'll be catching up with my best friend Dylan after he watches it. He's gonna post a review. He's my best friend in the whole world, makes amazing videos. I'm gonna link him below, so check him out. He is amazing, a Riverdale junkie just like me, so I'm sure later on tonight we'll be Skyping cross country and enjoying the late night discussion of what Betty, Jughead, Veronica, Archie, and Cheryl are all gonna be getting up to. So if you guys wanna check out his channel, again, I'm gonna link him below. And hopefully you guys have a good day, good night, good evening, whatever is going on in your life, and I'll see you soon.